Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. So today in the success story session, we have with us Mr. Nitin. And hello sir.
Hi.
So heartiest congratulations for clearing RBI grade B exam.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we will be knowing about his journey, that how he came towards the RBI preparation. And we will also know about the strategy that he followed for the phase 1, phase 2 and the interview. So starting with the background, so he is from the BTech. He has done BTech in Electronics and Communication from VIT. And after that, in 2015, he completed it. After that, he gave 3 attempts in UPSC. And then he came to the RBI exam. So, sir, something you want to add in the journey, that how was the journey and what did you felt at that time?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it took a long time to reach here, but it was a good journey, a journey to remember, I guess, because the time I spent on these years was worth waiting, I guess. And the 6 years, 5, 6 years, this journey has taught me a lot of things. First of all, patience was the biggest achievement I earned through this journey, I guess.
Okay, yeah, because it's like a grilling thing for like 6 years you have to prep, and yes, patience and determination also. You must have a lot of determination to go through the process. So, okay.
Definitely.
Yes. And so like anything that you want to tell the aspirants that have like given exams for 3-4 years and that are like now less motivated. So anything for their motivation?
I mean, everyone has their own journey. First, count your own advantages, disadvantages of whatever exam you are preparing for. Think if you are able to achieve it and you are able to progress successfully in every attempt, then there is a good chance of you clearing that exam. But if you are stuck in that same loop, then it is every individual's opinion. But if you are not able to progress, then you can think of other options, because this is not the only option, but you can think of other option. But if you're able to progress or improve on your earlier marks or scores, I think you should give better attempts for the next time.
Yes, like you should keep on improving every time.
Yeah.
Then you know that at some point you will be able to clear it, because
Right.
improvement is the must in these exams.
Right.
Okay, so any stress buster that you had, like something that you used to do for the so that you can relieve the stress?
I used to have 6-day week. Sunday I used to take completely off. That was my strategy. One day I needed off, so to divert my mind from focus studies or anything else. That day I used to just chill, watch movie or something. One day break, then again start on Monday morning again. Okay, the same routine.
Yes, sir. So now we will start with the strategy. Like starting with phase 1, it has like quant and reasoning, GA, logical reasoning, and English. So what was your focus of quant and reasoning and logical reasoning?
I come from engineering background, so I had basics of quant and reasoning. So I didn't focus on any particular book or such that. I used to just write your EduTap's mock test. And previous year RBI papers, I used to take it and try to find out what the type of questions they used to ask and practice those questions. And for these topics, I would suggest mock test is the only solution, because the time management is the most important thing in this parts of exam. So these 3 parts: English, quants, and logical reasoning. Time management is the most important thing. And just take previous year RBI papers and get to know the type of questions they ask. Then you'll be fine with that.
Okay, so you think that mock test is better for these quant reasoning and all?
Yeah.
So you are like you shouldn't follow any book as such?
No. If you come from non-technical background, you might follow few books to understand the basics of quants and logical reasoning. But if you are pretty decent with these basics of this stuff, you can directly move on with previous year RBI papers. Just find out the type of questions they ask and the level of difficulty they expect. Then you can manage with the type of question. Once you get to know the type of questions, with the time management, you can I think you can clear this part of the exam.
Okay, nice. For general awareness, like you also followed the mock test, or you were like, no, first you have to read and then mock test?
No, for general awareness, you have to read last at least 3 to 4 months of current affairs rigorously, like continuously revise it at least 3 to 4 times before exam, because 80 marks directly come from these current affairs topics.
Yes.
So sometimes it will be like, because in my first attempt, it was like, I have read this question, but I'm not able to recall that answer. So yeah, you have to revise it multiple times. The GA part, current affairs. Take
Like,
any source. There are multiple sources. Take EduTabs is also good source, but take 1 or 2 sources and revise it multiple times.
yes, sir. So like, what was your revision strategy? Because there are so many names, so many dates, so many numbers. So what was
Yeah,
the strategy that you followed?
I used to take the printout of those topics and I used to underline those things, and only the mark things I used to revise continue at least 3 to 4 times. I used to revise it before prelims. One day before prelims, so definitely have to do it at least once, all the 3 months, especially 3 months. And for RBI specifically, you have to go till the recent events as well. Like for example, if the exam is on say October 15th now, try to study till October 10th as well. There might be few questions, 3 to 4 questions might come from October 1 to 10 as well, because usually people tend to ignore the most recent events. So try to have a general awareness of at least 10 days, 1 week before exam as well.
Yes. Okay, so now as you said that at least 3-4 times of revision is a must, because there are so many things to remember, and at least
Yeah,
you should
most of them are factual things, right? You can't you can't conceptualize those things, because there are certain dates, certain names, who is the chairman of so and so company, and yeah, you have to revise it multiple times.
Yes. Okay, so thank you, sir. And now we will move to the phase 2, because
Yeah.
so in phase 2, like there are 3 papers: English, ESI, and finance and management. So
Right.
what was your strategy for the English? Like, what did you think? Because there are 3 things: essay, précis, and reading comprehension. So was there a mind that you will start with essay or you will start with reading comprehension to work on the set time?
Yeah, my strategy was first focus on essay paper because it carries the most marks. Then go on to comprehension part, because again it takes a lot of time, because there will be 4 5 questions, 5 questions I guess. And the final part will be précis writing. Précis writing, if you read paper, every aspirant you write for any exam, you have to read 1 paper at least daily, whichever exam you appear for. For RBI, apart from general paper, you have to focus on one finance paper. These 2 papers, if you read daily, at least for 4 5 months or 6 months, then you will get a basic knack of the language. Then you can write English paper as well as précis paper in a logical way. And for essay, I apart from that, I followed Anudip Dorishetty's guide. He was UPSC topper, I guess. Uh, he's compiled a small what do you say notes as well as tricks and tactics to write essays. That helped me a lot, I guess, in English paper. And apart from that, comprehension, don't focus on word limits. Whatever they ask in the question, try to complete the answer. How much ever words it might take. It might be 50 words, it might take 80 words, but try to complete the answer. And précis writing, the first at least what my strategy was, at least first sentence, start from your own self thought rather than whatever has been given in the answer, the topic. And conclusion also, try to give it in your own terms. In between those datas and all, you can compile by your own understanding. So this was my strategy in English, and write at least 3 to 4 papers, and try to get evaluated through your teachers or colleagues, anybody.
Okay, so 3-4 points that you gave was like, believe in the quality rather than the quantity. Means you do not have to focus on the word limit. The other thing was read the newspapers, the editorials for the language, like the language that you have to write, and write in your own words, because that's what they are like. It's an English paper, it's not a factual paper, so you have to write in your own words. Okay, so
Yes.
these were like very important points for the aspirants. So like now we can move to the ESI. So what did you think, like for you, because you were from the UPSC background? So like ESI was easy for you, or it was like current affairs? So how did you think that how we will cover it?
Uh, for me, the theoretical part was okay. I was not that much scared of, but the current affairs it's like an infinite pool.
Yes.
They can ask anything from anywhere or from any date as well.
Yes.
So for that current affairs, you have to first you have to have basics in ESI. Read any economics book. I'm not sure. I came from UPSC, so I used to study my notes. That too not deeply, just basic knowledge of the economics. And your major focus in ESI has to be on the current affairs topics, because those are the regions which they will focus in the exam. So my in ESI, I used to take EduTab's reports and schemes, and at least go till 2 years old reports and schemes as well. So I have basic knowledge of whatever is going on in the current times, but the major focus will be in last 1 year. But to have a basic idea, I used to study at least for 2 years. And yeah, apart from that, the basics like economic survey, budget, summaries, you can get it from anywhere. EduTab summaries are also good. You can study through those ESI topics.
So for the ESI, you used to focus on the sources, that is like the reports and like the summaries were from EduTab. And
Yeah.
so those were the sources for ESI. And you also had
Yeah.
a prior knowledge of the simple facts, like what is repo rate, what is reverse, because you need to understand that for understanding the news also.
Yeah, one source I would like to mention is one more additional source is Vision's Mains 365,
Yes.
only for economics.
Yes.
And not all you don't have to study all the topics from that. Just study economics, agriculture, economics and social issues, because you'll get some ready materials to write in answer, some facts, some data points, or some recent events which are taking place in this. And apart from that, the reports and schemes which you have compiled in EduTab, those are also at least the reports are very important, because an entire descriptive question can come through those reports.
Yes. Okay, and like what was your like pattern of writing the descriptive? Like what structure did you follow, and what structure do you think that is good for the descriptive?
Yeah, my first that basics like intro, mains, conclusion, that so you have to do. Apart from that, break down the question. Whatever the question is asked, break down that question into 2 to 3 parts, or how many parts it might be divided into, and focus on every point, and write on those on that particular point. Try to write your own point of view or whatever is asked in that question with facts and data points.
Okay.
Those are very important, because what happens is, if they ask something, sometimes we might miss the gist of the question. So it is better you break down that question into some 3 to 4 multiple points, and try to answer each and every point, so that you'll get different viewpoints as well as multiple points also.
Yes, that's good. Like you have to break down it into some points, and you have to understand the question first, and then
Yeah.
break down the question also, and then write the
Right.
points in which you have to like further enhance the point, like some
Right.
important points, and then enhance the points. Yes.
Yeah, that intro, introduction, body, and conclusion, that so everybody knows now.
Yeah.
So whatever you have to write in body and conclusion, that when you break down that question, you will get the viewpoints of the questionnaire.
Yes. Okay, now we can move forward to FM, like the finance and management. And so like you are from the BTech background. So was
Yeah.
it like troublesome for you when you heard that finance and management is coming, like it is an important part of the RBI exam?
Initially, I was actually skeptical of this paper, but my friend, he works in EduTab. I don't want to take his name. He said that it's not that difficult, but FNM, even non-finance graduates also can easily make through if you have the basic knowledge of economics. So I started studying the topics which are mentioned in the finance and management syllabus. So management was completely new to me. Finance, few of the things I knew. So management was one of the what you can say is was my weak point, because I did not prepare that much. So after my during I think just before my prelims, I started preparing for management just 1 month back before the prelims. So I just gave some 10-15 days. So I did not have much time. So I completely focused on EduTab's materials for both the finance and management. Apart from that, I don't think so I have done anything else apart from EduTab's finance and management. Management, I think management, everybody should start focusing immediately on management because it is very high scoring subject. There are
Yes.
limited topics and definite questions. So I think, yeah, management, you can refer to editors blindly, finance and management topics.
Okay, so you studied like for the finance management, you just focused on Editup's like
Yeah, that's
sources,
it.
and that
Nothing
was it.
else. And
Okay.
few of the current affairs.
Okay. And like in the descriptive also, you were like practicing, like how were you practicing? Did you practice too much? Because the notification came out in January 2021 and the exam was in April. So only 2 months you got. So did you practice too much or you were like,
To be honest, I did not practice much. I mean,
yeah,
have written a couple of English papers, but not descriptive ESI and FNM. But I had a background of writing UPSC mains, so
yes,
I knew what the pattern of how to write, how to approach an question, how to structure your answer. Those basic I had the knowledge of, but the what do you say, in ESI and FNM the word limits were too huge.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
I couldn't complete that. For example, if it was 600, I mean, the number of words which I used to write was somewhere around 350, 400, I guess. Definitely, they won't go for quantity. They only
yes,
focus on quality. That is
yes.
for sure because my answers were very crisp. So, yeah, focus on your content, the data, facts, whatever you can give, anecdotes. If in management, you can give example.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
So
my main strategy for descriptive paper.
So again, like 2 points that we got, that you had the background, but for the new like freshers, they have to practice the descriptive.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, and they need to practice the structuring, like how to structure your answer, like the points and all. And they have to also focus on the quality because the quantity, like you don't have to like focus on the number that we have to do 600 or 400 words. You must be like the quality matters because they are going to read
Yeah,
your answer.
yeah,
Okay, now we can move forward to the interview after
yeah.
covering all
Sure.
the three subjects of phase two. So like how was the interview for you? Was it grilling or the panel was very cordial and they were like nice?
The panel was pretty cordial, I guess. They were asking. I mean, yeah, they were pretty decent. They were not grilling or such. But whatever you answer, the next question will most probably come from that answer itself. So be aware and be cautious of whatever you are saying. Be sure you know that what you are saying, you know the basics, at least the basics of those topics.
Yes, yes. Whatever
And
you're saying is very important.
yeah,
Okay.
and
So
your biodata is also very important. You have to be very thorough with your biodata.
okay. And did they like any question that you didn't know or you said no for? Like you didn't know the answer.
Yeah, I mean, not specifically. They were asking me like they came to know that I was from UPSC background. They started focusing on majorly on macroeconomics. So they were asking on inflation, insolvency and bankruptcy code, so and so. One madam, the madam who was taking my interview, she shifted to COVID.
Okay.
COVID, this India's policy towards COVID, how we are handling it. So I mean, they were expecting some kind of criticism, but you are aspiring to be a government servant. You have to be neutral.
Yes.
Yeah. So once they got to know that this person can be neutral, they moved on from. So this guy can't. I mean, when they realized that he's not taking any sides and all, they moved on to other topics.
Okay, as being a government, like you want to go into government position or
Yeah.
something, so you need to be neutral. You do not have to take the extreme stance because
Yeah.
of course
Yeah.
there is a position for improvement and you can't be like too negative also.
Yeah.
So
Right. Right.
as well as you have
Those you
to,
can mention. Yeah. The improvement points, the suggestions you can
you
mention.
can mention, yes,
Yeah. Yeah. But you have to be. Your stance should be neutral.
neutral. Okay, no extreme stance should be there.
No extreme
And
stance. Yeah.
yeah, the current information you should have because they can ask the current affairs and anything that is like well prepared in the like general awareness and all. And you also have to see that from what background you come because they can ask questions from that. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
in case of yours, they were asking UPSC kind of thing. So
Yeah.
okay. And like we are to the end of the interview. So do you want to give any, like you have any message for the aspirants that are looking at you and they are hoping to get some knowledge and all?
Yeah, I mean, always strategize your preparation work schedule properly and do it. I mean, don't take much of these gap periods, or don't. I mean, always focus on your studies first now, because this is the prime age. I mean, whatever this 20s age is the most important age. And if you can focus on these career building opportunities, once you get in any of these your aspiring jobs, then you can do whatever you can wish for. Yeah, these are my best wishes for everyone who is preparing for this exam. That's it.
Okay, so like you should manage your time nicely, well, so that your future is like bright. Okay.
And one more thing, these schedules of those who have already qualified. This was my major focus during interview. I used to study the attitude of the people who got selected. Then I realized that it's not whatever background you have come from, whatever the technical knowledge you have about the topics. It's more than it's not much of that. It's more of your personality and the body language you project. Because few of the last year's toppers, I used to watch those, and I could make those by their attitude itself. They're pretty calm, composed, and all. And I didn't have much of any work experience as well. I was very scared of that. They might grill me on that, but they were like, yeah, there are many students like you. We don't. I mean, if you can justify your gap period and your motivation, they're pretty okay with that. But the way you say those things, the way your personality, the projection of your personality, it matters a lot, I feel.
Okay, so your personality matters more than what you did before, like how you,
right.
Yeah, like how you present yourself. You need to be a calm, a patient person, and you need to hear those questions and answer those questions in a calm manner, because you are
Yes.
going to such a high position where you have to like see over a whole country. So you need to be
Yes.
a person that is a calm person to handle the whole country in a way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, it was really nice talking with you. I also learned many things, and I know that the aspirants would have also learned a lot of things. So thank you very much, Nitin. So
Thank you so
now,
much.
okay, thank you everyone.